Hi guys, welcome to my YouTube channel and don't forget to like and subscribe. Today our topic is real estate, and in real estate we are going to focus on how to increase the occupancy of any kind of R&B kind of a house. Remember, this is a R&B kind of a house. It's a house that you have already spent so much on, and you would love to know on how the best way to go, or the best strategies to use to increase your kind of occupancy in your R&B kind of a house. Number one, competitive pricing. When it comes to competitive pricing, any kind of R&B kind of a owner or property owner, they should be able to set the kind of a market kind of a rate, or rather competitive kind of a pricing in that kind of R&B kind of a listing. This is because when you set your kind of R&B kind of a price, for example, too high or too low, depending on location, you are in a position to lose a kind of a potential kind of a client. So what we mean is that the kind of a pricing on kind of a rent of a kind of R&B house should match hand in hand with other kind of properties that have been set in that kind of particular kind of a location. Number two, listing your kind of a description of your house. It should be very compelling when you are describing your kind of R&B kind of a house. What do we mean in this? It means that in any kind of listing, or in kind of that kind of a description that you are doing for a particular kind of R&B kind of a house, it should entail everything that kind of a house that it has. For example, if the house has kind of a Wi-Fi, should be indicated there, kind of guest room, kind of washrooms, kind of bathrooms, kind of laundry area, kind of location in that particular kind of for that particular kind of R&B, and also kind of if there is access to, or quick access to any kind of social amenities, you should be able to put it in that kind of description, because this one will be helping that kind of a guest you are looking for. Remember, because this kind of a guest is not nearby. For example, they are from the diaspora, and they should be able to travel, for example, into your apartment, that kind of R&B kind of a house, even when they are far away, by checking the kind of description that you have put. And again, when it comes to description also, it will also include the kind of, I call it kind of photos that you use when you are describing that kind of a R&B kind of a house. Meaning that it should be appealing. For example, taking an example of somebody who is checking for any kind of a listing of any R&B kind of a house, it should be appealing to them. For example, when it is kitchen, how is the kitchen? Is it well stocked? What do we see in the kitchen? Are we seeing fridge? Are we seeing microwaves? Are we seeing nice cabinets? Are we seeing toasters? Are we seeing all kind of things that entail that particular kind of a R&B kind of a house? Again, your communication. What do we mean in kind of communication? We mean that the kind of you should enhance the guest kind of communication. Where, for example, the guest is occupying, for example, your kind of R&B kind of a house. How do you communicate to them? When they pose you questions, how do you answer them? Do you feel like when you are being asked questions, it's like a complaint to you? How do you receive any kind of communication? For example, when they ask you a question, how is this thing and thing done? Do you have, for example, Wi-Fi? How is your washing machine? What kind, different kind of question depending on different kind of guests that you handle. How do you take them? Do you give them a kind of response that they are looking for? Or are you annoyed as the guest asks so many kind of a question? Or are you that kind of a property owner who would rather, when the question is posed to them, you don't feel like answering that kind of a question, and your work just involves looking for the kind of a good render on that particular kind of a tenant? If you are that kind of a property owner, I'd encourage you to enhance a good kind of communication when you are dealing with any particular kind of a guest, because this particular kind of a guest, you are also looking for them for referrals. So anytime they pose a question, whether you are tired or you are not feeling like answering, you have to compose yourself and answer it with a good smile, with ease, so that the client, when they are staying there, they feel comfortable when they are far away from home. And in return, by the time their attendance comes to an end, I'm sure they'll be able to give you a kind of referral, depending on how you have handled them when they are in that particular kind of house. Again, another strategy is using all kind of social kind of medias. What do we mean in this? For example, you can use different kind of medias to advertise your kind of Airbnb kind of a house. Like for example, you have a kind of a Gigi platform. You can use the shopping malls. You can use internet. Those are some of the ways that you can use when you are trying to look for that particular kind of guest to do occupancy on kind of Airbnb kind of a house. Again, it is important for a kind of property owner to get reviews from the tenant. That is, for example, the kind of a guest that you have had in your kind of Airbnb. When they are living their kind of, when they are kind of sorry, their tenants comes to an kind of an end, or it comes to an end. You should be able to let them leave a kind of a note. Let them know the kind of let them live let the guests live kind of reviews. You get to understand how their stay has been, because this one, once they do, it will be able for you to know or not to increase your kind of occupancy in your Airbnb kind of a house by, for example, taking their critics in kind of reviews. Maybe the guests thought that something could have been done better in your kind of Airbnb kind of a house, and by the time their kind of tenancy is coming to an end, they have left that kind of a review. It's good that you take note of that, so that the next kind of a guest that you are going to be will be going to be occupying your kind of a house, they'll feel comfortable far away from home, and in that you'll be increasing the kind of occupancy in kind of Airbnb kind of a houses that you have. And it's all that for today. Have yourself a good day. Bye bye till next time.